And Sam wants me to warn you guys at the start of this particular song, he's going to start us just right out of the gate, rocking away with this tune, Rise. It does feature some colorful strobe lights that he's going to have going in the background. So just a little FYI to those people who are watching out on Facebook land tonight. But tell us about this first song, Rise. It's definitely a very catchy rock tune that has done very well for you.
Yeah, so this really marked a change in my music where I started digging more into the pop and electronic side of things. As Joe mentioned, I'm part of another group as well, Reclaimers, which is hard rock focused. So I started digging into more of this type of production, but from a songwriting perspective, one thing I think is very important to me is to put encouraging words in other people's mouths, because people don't just listen to your music when you're an artist, they sing it. They sing it back to you and it plays over and over in their minds. So I wanted to write something that was anthemic and that would just kind of help you get pumped up as it played over and over in your mind and came back out of your mouth.
Amen. Good words indeed. Here is Sam Day with the first tune of the night. For him, here's Rise on Red's Room.
Sideways, gotta be a dream. Like how's he about to rise above the dust and make a scene? But you and I both know how far I've come. That makes me dangerous. I can't take all credit for this. I still hold a flame in this place, and I'm gonna rise, yeah. Sideways, gotta be a dream. Like how's he about to rise above the dust and make a scene? But you and I both know how far I've come. Learn out from Jesus, get up and run. And I'm gonna rise, yeah. Oh, I'm gonna rise, take the credit for the yeah. It's still the flame in this flame, and I'm gonna rise, yeah. Oh, I'm gonna rise, yeah. So I'm gonna rise. Looking at the sideways, gotta be a dream. How's he about to rise above the dust and make it seem? But you and I both know how far I've come. Burn up for Jesus, get up and go. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna rise, yeah.
Sam Day and Rise kicking off his set here tonight on Red's Room. Oh, I always enjoy that one. Very well done as usual, sir. For those who may be watching who aren't as familiar with your musical journey, when did you first start out really pursuing singing and songwriting professionally?
It's really interesting. I was talking about this on an Instagram live the other day. My whole life, I've always known it was something that I wanted to do on a high level. Officially, I guess technically, I've been on the scene, I guess about 10 years now. A little bit longer if you count some of the stuff I was doing as a teenager, but you know, who knows about that. But I was having a radio interview a couple of weeks ago, or not a couple of weeks ago, I guess it was several months ago now. And the gentleman that was interviewing me referred to me as a new artist, which is an ironic feeling, but I think ultimately a good thing, because when you've been doing this for 10 years and people are still seeing you as a new artist, that means that there's some freshness there and you're getting to new audiences. I was talking to our mutual friend Joel Vaughn a few weeks ago as well, and he's like, dude, I've been doing this for 14 plus years and I still have people say that about me, so it's a good thing. So I'll take that.
Joel Vaughn is also another great dude that we've come to know and love over the last number of years as well. Second tune out for you. So what have you got for us tonight here, Sam?
Yeah, I'm going to keep rolling here with a song that came out just recently called Stand Through This. I know that a lot of people have talked tonight about some of the challenges that they have gone through. And kind of going along with that theme of putting good things in people's mouths, I wrote this song about some things that I went through. But again, I wanted to think about, like, when this is coming back out of someone's mouth, what are they ultimately going to come to? What are they ultimately, if I can use a churchy term, declaring about themselves? And so I wanted to be very purposeful with how I wrote this song. So this is Stand Through This. Look at myself in the mirror again. Am I gonna stand through this? Yeah, I'm gonna stand through this. Deciding who I'm gonna be now. Yeah. Am I gonna stand through this? I'm gonna stand through this. It wasn't what I had been planning. It wasn't what I had in mind. But if the house is coming down now, then I know one thing, it won't be mine. I know the story's just beginning. I'm still expecting what is good. I know that I was made for winning, and I'll follow through just like I should. You ain't gonna take me down, 'cause I know how to hold my ground. Look at myself in the mirror again. Am I gonna stand through this? Yeah, I'm gonna stand through this. Deciding who I'm gonna be now. Yeah. I'm gonna stand through this. Yeah, I'm gonna stand through this. It was a momentary setback. Felt like my universe was gone. The storm was coming down on my back, but I found a star, keep shining on. You ain't gonna take me down. No, 'cause I know where to hold my ground. Gotta set my face like a stone from a 1,000 yards dead of my bones. When it feels like I'm in this alone, gotta set my face like a stone from my 1,000 yards dead of my bones. When I know I ain't in this alone. Look at myself in the mirror again. Am I gonna stand? I'm gonna stand. Look at myself in the mirror again. Oh, am I gonna stand through this? I'm gonna stand through this. Deciding who I'm gonna be now. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna stand through this. Yeah, I'm gonna stand through this. You ain't gonna take me down. No, 'cause I know where to hold my ground.
Samuel Day, Stand Through This here on the Saturday night edition of Resident. I just love how the Lord is orchestrating all of this musically tonight with just songs of healing and standing on the promises that the Lord has given to all of us. I just love how he orchestrates all of this, even in the lineup tonight, and a lot of the themes we're hearing musically this evening. Sam D is with us. Inspirationally, I know you're a very creatively talented guy who crosses multiple genres, from, the hard rock stuff with their Reclaimers to some more of the CCM pop stuff sometimes in your Samuel Day stuff, a little bit of worship at times as well. For those who might be watching who haven't heard your story of inspirations yet, what is the trick for you songwriting? When you sit down, does it help to know where you're going genre-wise first? Is it a clean slate when you're sitting down to write a song? I mean, how does song inspirations come for you depending on where you're going and what project you're working on?
There's all sorts of ways. Sometimes you have those instances where the whole thing just kind of comes to you quickly, like, a shower thought sort of thing, or in your prayer time, or in the car. It happens to me all the time in the car, maybe because I'm not thinking about too many other things. But other times it is more purposeful. Sitting down at an instrument and saying, okay, I want to write a pop song, or I want to write a hard rock song for Reclaimers. But at the end of the day, a big thing for me is being really lyrically intentional. I heard this once, and I don't mean to use a crass comparison at all, but we have the gifts and the abilities that the Lord has given us, but he's also given us our own individual personalities. And I heard somebody describe this one time, when a baby is born, everybody lies. Everybody says when they first see the baby, look at how beautiful the baby is. Well, when a baby is first born, they're kind of nasty. They have to be cleaned up and dressed and get ready to go out into the world outside the hospital. The reason that I bring that up is the children are a gift from God, but in cooperation with us, his kids, it takes the hands of man to complete the picture. So I think about that a lot when it comes to my songwriting process. I'm like, sometimes I'll have a rough idea in myself and I'll spit out some lyrics, and then I'll re-examine like what came out in a moment of inspiration. And sometimes it's perfect. Sometimes it's great. Other times I go back and I'll read a lyric that I wrote in the heat of the moment and go, Sam, that's not totally right. Like, that's not real scriptural, or that's not correct, or that's not what you want somebody singing, in their low moment. So there are times where I'll go back and be very, I don't want to use the word critical, but I've learned that it's okay to edit with an eye of trying to be wise about how I write. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. In fact, I've learned that actually helps make the end product better for me.
It's always good though when the Lord gives you that gut check sometimes of maybe I need to tweak this a little bit. At least you're lyrically, your heart is open to those type of things. When you listen to some of our own music, maybe that's good advice for somebody who is a songwriter. Just be open to change. Be open to, if the Lord says, "Hey, you need to tweak this a little bit," be open to that sort of thing. I think
I think sometimes as artists, it's easy for us to think that our art is sacrosanct. Like, how dare there be any criticism of this thing I created? It's me. And we invest all of our self-worth into the thing we made instead of who God says we are. And I've had to learn to separate myself from that and be like, no, you know what? If this needs to be tweaked, if this needs to be changed to get to where it needs to get, that's okay.
Into that. What is the next musical number you have for us here tonight on Res Room there, sir?
So this is my newest single that just came out, and I'm going to play a stripped down version of it tonight without the tracks and all that fun stuff. This song is called This Love, and really quick before I get into it, I just wanted to drop, without taking up too much time, I appreciated something that Carrie said earlier when it comes to the fact that the Lord is our healer. And it's that we have to believe that he's already done and provided that for us, and then we stand in faith to see those results. And if you find yourself in a place where you're doing the same thing, go find testimonies. I can't tell you the number of testimonies I can rattle off the top of my head of people who have received their healing, because I've gone looking for them and I keep them in front of me. They're not always the things that for whatever reason are trending on Twitter, but they're out there, and there are a lot of them. So this song, This Love, is really about knowing what God has already provided for us and taking part in our part of faith, which is to reach out and take what he's provided. out with human hands. They don't know the pain and the uncertainty is not the love you wrote for you and me. They don't know time's turn, your love burns, we return, and we find ourselves again. And I know it wasn't easy, you've made everything right. Only if I'll reach out and I'll take it all outright. Oh, take it here tonight. I reach out and I take what is mine. This love, this love. Jesus, I will be forever strong, strong in this love, this love, yeah. Time and time again they've tried to tell me that I'm only to survive, and that's just a lie. 'Cause fear and insecurity is not the world you meant for me to breathe. So I believe time's turn, your love burns, we return, and we find ourselves again. I know it wasn't easy, you've made everything right. Only if I'll reach out and I'll take it all outright. Oh, take it here tonight. I reach out and I take what is mine. This love, this love. Jesus, I will be forever strong, strong in this love, this love. Oh, this love. Your love, your love. I reach out and I take what is mine. This love, this love. Jesus, I will be forever strong, strong in this love, this love, your love, this love, your love, yeah. Oh.
The always beautiful This Love, Sam Day, right here on Red's Room. And for any spotlighters that are watching our broadcast tonight, it has a special meaning to all of us in that community group, and they know exactly why as well. It's so good to hear that song. Sam Day is with us. Now, in addition, now you are getting ready for September. I think you're going to be performing at Sunfest.
Yes.
A great festival in Ohio. What other great stuff you got coming up in the next couple months we can look forward to?
You know, Sunfest is the biggest thing right now, but I want to throw out there that I'm currently looking to start booking. I did a big tour rehearsal with the live band just a few weeks ago, and man, we're ready. So if there are any churches or venues or bars, you know what, whatever. If there's anybody that's looking to put on some music, I would love to hear about it. But the big thing that's coming up is Sunfest. It's September 18th. In Mount Vernon, Ohio, at Mount Vernon Nazarene University. And there's some huge first of all, shout out to my friend Jeremiah Wagner from the band Safe Kept, who basically we got the gig because of a referral from him. And I'm playing second to last on the second stage, and there's some great names in Christian music also performing that day. Riley Clemens, Corey Asbury of Bethel Worship, and a whole bunch more. So I'll be toward the end of the day that day. All everybody has to do is turn around between the headliners, and we're going to be right there. We're super excited about it. September 18th at Sunfest. It's going to be an awesome time.
September 18th, anybody in and around the Ohio area, definitely go check that out if you live in or near that area. What's the next tune you got for us there, Sam?
I thought I would close out the evening with one that I've been playing for a little while, unless anybody really wants an encore or anything. But this song is called Spotlight, and this is one of those that I wrote in the car. It was like on my way home. I was in traffic. I was thinking about how, as artists, we're always told, be transparent, be honest, talk about your experience. And I don't necessarily disagree with that, but sometimes it feels like, people are kind of trying to juice you for the darkest part of your emotions just because, so they can cry alone at home while they're listening to your stuff. I guess I get that, but I was also like, there have been so many times where I was playing a concert and I just felt like I did horribly. My voice was just not there, or I played a lot of wrong notes or something. And oddly enough, there have been those instances where those were the days when people said, man, I was really impacted tonight. I really enjoyed it. And it's like, really? So this song is a whole lot about how we can't always trust. Our emotions are good. God has emotions. We get that from him, but we can't always trust him because they change. They're changeable. And I know that if I certainly had followed the way I felt in a lot of the situations in life, I wouldn't have even made it this far. That's what Spotlight is about.
Feelings that are screaming for
Sam Day and Spotlight right here on Red's Room tonight. I just have to read this across, Sam. I'm sure you get a kick out of this. James Gravelin says, playing air guitar like the video.
Good. You might need to explain that reference to everybody, but I know exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah, I probably should real quick, as anybody who didn't watch has probably no idea what he's talking about. So Sam did that rendition, kind of a full band like rendition of that for one of our Net of Hope shows last summer. And playing next to him was his great guitar player. But what Sam said he didn't realize until he got the video into edit was his guitar player was doing all these great just facial antics. Sam was playing the straight guy, and his guitar player, however, was not.
I had my eyes closed for the whole time, like we were filming. I'm like, just sing the right notes, Sam. And a week later, I'm editing the video going, because he's notorious for that kind of stuff. He's that guy at practice too, which I kind of need to pull me back into some levity, but it was a great discovery after the fact for sure.
So does he do that in some of your live shows too? Is he the same way?
To an extent, yeah. And I mean, he's a professional, so like, I mean, he never sabotages anything, but he reminds me to have fun when I'm maybe overthinking some details, and I appreciate that.
It's a great balance you all have, yeah. I'm being told from our producer director that a showrunner that he is completely fine with an encore, so we will get one more song hopefully in just a moment. But one thing I did want to ask you before we head into our final song of the night, as a reminder to everybody, there will be a Zoom after party where you can hang with us, come fellowship with us for a few moments, chat and say hello to some of the artists, and say thanks for their great performances tonight. That'll be in just about 5 to 7 minutes away from right now. What's your biggest piece of advice that you would give to any independent songwriters listening? Because you have produced for a few artists here recently. So what's the big one nugget of advice that you would give?
Yeah, I mean, shout out to a couple of the artists that I've worked with recently. I did some production work for Millyanne, and then also for Dominique Horsley, both good friends of mine. And one thing that I've been thinking about a lot, especially over the last couple of years, is a steady persistence as an artist. I think we love stories about people who are overnight successes, and I think it's great when that happens for somebody. But so many of the overnight successes that we know about aren't that at all. Kind of going back to what I was saying earlier, where you'll be 10 years into the thing, and then somebody will go, "We're welcoming a new artist today, brand new artist," and it's like, is that so? But the truth is, I think there are a lot of examples out there of people who have overcome some adversity to get to the place that they're at in terms of influence. And the other thing I would say is do your best to like build and maintain your character over that time. Something that I think about and that I try to remind artists that I work with is like, are you ready for the level of success that you say that you want? I think that's a much bigger question than most people are willing to really ask themselves. But when there are a lot of opportunities coming to your door, when there's a lot of temptation coming to your door, that's a gut check question that we all have to ask ourselves, and we can take the time leading up to when we get to that point to really prepare for it. So don't neglect that part of your maturation as you're going through the process of being an artist.
Amen to all of that. What is the final number you have closing out this edition of Red's Room here tonight?
I was going back and forth as I was looking what I have here. I could do Time to Live, but I think this is a little different, but I think I'm going to close out the evening with Better Than Before.
Good choice. Good choice. Better Than Before now. Sam Day closing out the Saturday night edition of Red's Room.
You have helped me to remember the joy in each December, so I don't let thieves steal from beneath my tree. I was tempted to forget how Christmas and I met when my widened eyes first formed a memory. But you remind me that my life will be each December, yeah.